Hello, everybody. Okay, so this was sent to me by a friend, and I want to talk to you about this. Now, I haven't really even read it, but I just went down to the actual poll. But basically, with poll, MPP Hillier takes to Twitter to claim social distancing orders defend park congregators. So I think this is either Toronto or says here Ottawa on the URL inside Ottawa Valley. Okay, so this is inside Ottawa Valley. It's a local paper that is available in. I think it's a local paper, if I'm not mistaken, in different cities around Canada. But maybe I'm mistaken because I think I've seen that logo. But anyways, so you can tell that he's overweight, and I'm not shaming anybody for being overweight, but most likely people are overweight because they're just not eating healthy, or even at least vegan. So I'm not shaming anybody, but anyways, let's go down. He's basically right here, social distancing orders. Okay, so basically he is talking about social distancing. Okay, now this is coming from the Charlton Place Almonte Canadian Gazette. Okay, so anyways, you go down, and I voted already, and this is Trinity Bellwoods in Toronto, Canada, and everybody was out there. So these are the anarchists, or at least I shouldn't say anarchists, but these are the people that think that we should all congregate together. We should all enjoy our lives in the sun, out in the fresh air, no masks, nothing. Okay. Now, what does it say here for the voting? Okay. So there was a few voting ideas. Now, the 53% got no, we need to follow guidelines set out by public health officials to protect the most vulnerable. Yes, people have the right to decide their own actions without being shamed. I'm sort of on the fence. I see both sides. Yes, the government has no right to tell me what to do. I'm just not sure. Okay, so there was over 7,000 votes. Okay. So far, over 7,000 votes. Now, that doesn't really mean much because it's only 7,000. We don't have the opinions of millions of Torontonians. But listen, watch this. I'm sorry for the. So 53% of the public, so out of 7,000 people, more than 7,000 people, over 4,000 said we need to follow guidelines set up by public health officials to protect the most vulnerable. A lot of people, unfortunately, look, a lot of people, unfortunately, are brainwashed. 53% of the people that voted are brainwashed. That means probably 53% of Canadians are brainwashed to believing the government, to believing whatever the government says. We just follow everything what the government says. Look at this, 53%. But at the same time, there's over 40% of the public that says we have the right to decide what we want to do. Now, those people, they're really good people because, yeah, you can decide what you want to do. Let people decide what to do, okay? But if the government is lying, first of all, and fabricating stories, and we don't really know where the numbers are really coming from, and if they're really telling the truth about everything, then should we put our trust in them? Some people say I'm sort of on the fence. I see both sides. That means they question everything. So they see some of it may be good and some of it may be bad. And I'm the one who voted for the 1%. Yes, the government has no right to tell me what to do, which is it's correct. We have the birthright to live as sovereign individual human beings. We have the right to live as sovereign, individual human beings. This is our birthright. The birthright, our birthright to land, to water, to food, plant foods, and to seed. Of course, to our fair share, I should say, our fair share of land, water, plant foods, and seed. But, of course, not to destroy the home, the only home that we have, our planet Earth. And the 1%, they probably just don't care. I don't know, 67 people. So you can see the real big problem here is people continuously trust the government. Continuously trust the government is protecting us. The police force are protecting us. No, they are our friends and they're protecting us because they want us to be safe. That's what we think when they give us our social insurance number, which is like a government ID. When they give us our passports and when they give us our licenses and all these things, that's to protect us. That's to protect us. All government agencies say the same thing, or even big corporations say the same thing. It is to protect the customer. It is to protect the customer. Well, we actually don't need any protection because the universe or God is on our side. Yes, they are on our side. Now again, I want to go back up. And I want to say that I do not hate this guy. I do not think he is a bad person. This guy, MPP Hillier, he's not a bad person. His name is, his full name is, I would have to read the whole thing. But MPP Hillier, he is not a bad person. His actions may be evil. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's eating may not be, because vegans usually don't look like this. Even those junk food vegans really don't look like that unless they just recently went vegan or something, or really they're eating unhealthy and they've been overweight their whole life. They've been eating unhealthy and they're still eating unhealthy. So, but otherwise, I do not shame anyone. We just are so brainwashed to believing that the governments and politicians will actually help us and are on our side. Now, of course, there are the few selected politicians and few selected people in government that are really good and really genuinely want to help and make this world a better place. But in the end, governments will not really do anything to bring us true freedom, true peace, and true freedom and peace. We will not live in the Garden of Eden when we have a government, because governments don't exist in the Garden of Eden. And some people say, well, we will never get to that Garden of Eden. Of course we will never get to that Garden of Eden if we are still, in our society, still supporting governments. And people say, well, there's no other way to do it. We just need to. We need to somehow support them. And we still need to use money and we still need to live in cities. And it's like, no, we don't. If the 53% of the population, okay, and the 42% even, and even the 3% were to amalgamate or to believe that, yes, the government has no right to tell me what to do, and to answer this truthfully and understand that the government has no right to tell us what to do, yes, then we would be on a new course in history. New course in the world. I don't even like to use the word history because it's his story. So we would be in a new course in the world because we start to question society. We start to question the world and governments. We start to see that, hey, look, we are free human beings, with our birthright to be free as free, sovereign human individuals, with the right to move freely anywhere in the world. This is not written anywhere. This is not written down anywhere. This is our birthright given to us by the earth. The birthright given to us by the earth and the universe and God to live and to move anywhere we want on the earth freely. Of course, without trampling on people's property. We have the right to a fair share of land, water, plant foods, and seed. Now, what is a fair share? What does that mean? Well, nobody really knows what that means, but we got to come up with some kind of consensus of what really that means. Probably it means something like 2 acres per person, given their privacy. And of course, a bigger area for individual communities, depending on how many community members you want to have in your community. But the guide is, people say between 8 to 20 people. But I'm thinking maybe a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand, because of the fact remains that when the police come to try to invade our private property and to kick us off the land, to throw us in jail, we have enough people there, stand our ground, to not let that happen. How are they going to arrest thousands and thousands of people if there are thousands of people on the land that are trying to claim their birthright? Again, governments, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos, governments, especially during this COVID-19 coronavirus epidemic, but governments lie, they steal, they cheat, they fabricate things, they work with big mega corporations and the media, the mainstream mass media, they enslave us. They're not here. They're not our friends. Now, I understand where that Louise Hayes is coming from. She talks about this in her audiobook called 101 Power Thoughts. Now, I understand where she's coming from, that we need to love the government and we need to think of them as good people. We need to think of everyone as good people. Exactly. But we need to get away from that because it's no longer serving us. It doesn't mean that they're, it's the actions, I think, of these entities that are really, not good. I mean, deep down, these individual politicians may be decent human beings. We don't know. I mean, I'm not in their shoes. I'm not them. I don't know what's really going on. I don't know what's really going on in their minds and what they have been. I mean, we've all been programmed to believe certain things, and we're with the knowledge that we have, we're the person that we are. And if we haven't spiritually awakened to that, love for everyone, and unfortunately we do bad things. I've done bad things for the first 26 years of my life, and I'm not proud of it. I've harmed animals indirectly and directly harming animals. And I'm not proud of that. I mean, I've harmed non-human animals. I've harmed, human animals, humans. And I'm not proud of that either. And I've changed a lot. I mean, I've become vegan, and now getting there to fruitarianism and Eden fruitarianism and raw veganism. And it's like, let's get beyond this. Let's raise our consciousness and go on another dimension. Come on. Wake up, people. This is, a physical world that we're looking through with our eyes. We need to get back to living, within, to understanding that there's spiritual nature as well, and going within and using our intuition instead of following the crowd and being the 53% or even the 42 or even the 3%. We need to be the 1%. That's right, the 1%. Or at least these, the 1 to 5%. Because this is actually 3, 4, this is 5% right here. 3, 1, 1, 5%. So we need to be the 5%. And I'm pretty sure back in the days, this was more like point something percent. And now people are questioning more and more and more. And yes, this number is still big, 53%. And yes, this is only something like 7,000 or whatever votes, but it's still look at this. If this is what it comes down to, then imagine what other Canadians will vote, or for anybody will vote for. So please do the right thing. Start questioning everything in our society. Okay? Start exercising our birthrights. Go to the forum, Peaceful Village Forum, and join there. If you're vegan and raw vegan, join it. And let's create a discussion. Let's create physical, veganic, homesteading communities. Let's create these physical communities, and let's do that. Let's create these physical communities, and let's create a world we really want to live in. Not the world where we're being dictated by police and governments and mega corporations and programmed in fear by mainstream and mass media. So that's all I want to say. Thank you so much for joining me. Give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to share this link with you. And please do post, yes, the government has no right to tell me what to do. Of course, that is not a complete correct statement, because really we don't want to harm anyone at all. So if you say this, the government has no right to tell me what to do. If you kill somebody, then there has to be some kind of reprimand, a learning lesson for you, or if you harm somebody, there must be some kind of reprimand. Now, I don't believe in jails, and I don't believe in punishing anybody. I believe that they should learn and they should be educated, because anyone can change. I've abused animals and humans, and directly and indirectly, and I'm not proud of it, but I awakened, and I am now non-violent. So please give this video a thumbs up, share it around all your friends and family and everybody. Even if you're not Canadian, please vote. Please, please, please vote. You don't need to sign up or anything. Just vote. It's at the bottom of the article. I'll post the article. It's a long list, long URL, but I'll post it in the description below. And don't forget to buy my books, because it supports my work to continue doing these great videos, and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And please subscribe, because I know you're going to like these videos. If you like this video, you're going to like my other videos. Now I'm doing, again, a lot of videos on the pandemic, what's happening, the world issues, all kinds of things pertaining to the state of the world and the state of the society and all that. And again, subscribe, click that little icon, the bell icon, to get notifications in your email. And don't forget to subscribe to the email newsletter as well. Thank you so much for joining me here, everybody. And I want to kiss you and hug you and say I love you. And I will see you later. Take care, everybody.